Okay, so what I'm going to work with you all on right now are just 5 quick video tips to focus on for some of the first video work that you're going to be doing this week. So let's jump right into things. Now the first one I think is really we boil down to the very beginning of things, and that's work to get people doing what they do. Work to get them in action, in their natural environment. For instance here, if we have a teacher who gets an award and we were going out to get video of it, we wouldn't want to just get them posing with their award or standing by the award in the classroom. We want to get them in the classroom doing what they were getting awarded for, teaching with the students who are there. So work to get people doing what they do, get them in action, get their natural environment. This is easy during ball games and such like that. Sometimes you will have stories though where you're looking for, how do I get them doing what it is that we're talking about here? And some video stories lend themselves better to getting video, and others it's a little bit tougher time. You struggle a little bit more trying to figure out, okay, well, that's a good story, but how do I show this in video form? Since obviously the video is a crucial component of the video story. Now the next one deals with just get close to your subject, and we see here this is typical. You make it to the beach, and whether it's a photo or a video, it's okay. Well, let's get some video of you by the beach, and so you send the person, as you see on the left, 50 yards away from you, and they're standing by the water, and you want to make sure you get the ocean and the person in there. Well, the problem is you can't really tell who is in that video on the left. It's just kind of a blurry person standing there. Where on the right, where we're a little bit closer to the subject, we can still see the water, we can still see the ocean, and most importantly, we can see the person. And especially today, and in a day where mobile video is what so many people are watching things on, you do want your subject, you do want your main center of interest to fill the screen and be dominant, since the screens are so small. We look at those two things, and it's much easier to see the person on the right if that were a small screen than it is the person on the left. Now you can fix this one of two ways. One is bring your subject just closer to you. So if you're getting video and you're able to manipulate your subject, if we're telling a video story and we're showing life happening as it's supposed to, we can't really manipulate, tell people to be playing catch over here or do things like that to make our video better. We need to position ourselves in spots that work. But when we're just interviewing somebody, or when we're maybe not covering an event, you can move your subjects around. So maybe the one on the left, what we could do is ask the person to come closer. And maybe instead of seeing full body by the beach, we just see their head and shoulders, but we can still see all the waves crashing in the background. Or, like on the right side, do what's called zoom with your feet. It's much easier when you're taking video to be a ways away from somebody. We maybe aren't confident enough putting the camera up really close to them or getting in their face, but it makes for such better video. So zoom with your feet. Don't just always zoom in with your camera on things. Walk with your feet, get closer, and work to have the subject fill the frame. And we see, we're right up there by the water. We miss out on some of that wet beach that you see on the left, but in the right, we can actually tell who's in the video, and we still see plenty of the ocean. Now, the next one is basically just make sure to have steady, focused video. We see it could be shaky or blurry, or we have problems, and you usually want to make sure that your video is in focus, and that it is a really steady shot that there's not a lot of movement with. The only movement that should be going on are the subjects in your shot. Next one deals with lighting, and just make sure that your lighting is good in other videos. And with all this stuff, this is just a primer. We will be talking about composition in other videos and some more tips on things, but lighting is a crucial one. And so we'll talk about how to make sure that using your mobile device, you can click around on different parts of the screen to adjust your exposure settings. The other thing to watch when you're shooting video is to check where your light source is coming. And we see in this video on the left that the light source is coming from window. And windows are notorious for causing lighting problems. You want to get that great image of two people, a great video of those two people. You have a window behind, and what we see is the camera is metering for what's going on outside in the background, not the indoor area. So we can fix that in one of two ways. We either bring in some artificial lighting, you bring in some lights to illuminate. So see, that fixes the problem with the images on the right, where we brought in some light to illuminate the subject's face so it wasn't filled with shadows. That's one way to fix the backlighting problem. The other way is to just switch places with the subject. So you make sure your camera is positioned with your back to the window, and be video and filming things on the other side. So instead of having the subject's back to the window, you have your back to the window and have them face the window. If they're facing the window, that light, that nice light that's coming through, that's diffused through the glass, is going to hit their face, and it's actually going to naturally light them up and make things look really good. And the last thing, the fifth thing here, we're talking about maybe you're setting up a video interview, you are talking with somebody. What we want to make sure is we want to make sure to give the video composition some depth and not have them standing in front of a cinder block wall that makes them look like it's a mugshot that they were getting in jail. So yeah, so don't go with a video with people with their shoulders parallel to some sort of wall. Watch busy, distracting backgrounds, but have one that does have some depth, and put the person there instead of using these walls, especially these walls that we have around the school. They don't make for real flattering backgrounds. Now, some bonus things just to keep in mind, and we've talked about some of these in class to date. 5 more quick things is make sure to shoot your video horizontal. We're actually going to be watching a vertical video syndrome video here shortly. We've talked about this though. So video on your screens, on TVs is meant to be horizontal. You can shoot vertical if you're doing a Snap story, maybe an Instagram story or something like that. If the medium dictates you shoot vertical, do it. But the vast majority of the time, everything needs to be horizontal, especially when we are looking to put something on YouTube. Audio, my tip here is the early one with mobile devices is just try not to be in a loud area. Be in a place where there's not a lot of noisy distractions going on. The Commons is a really bad place to do interviews during lunchtime. You might want to pull people out into one of the side hallways or something if you do want to talk to them. And then the other thing with that audio is get close to whatever you're trying to get the audio of. Mobile devices pull sounds from all over the place. But the closer you are to your sound source, whether that's a person talking or maybe a machine in the woodshop area, the more your device is going to pick up that one specific sound and push all the others at least to the back a little bit. With every video you get, it needs to be 10 seconds. We need some video handles on things. Even if the action of what's going on only is a couple seconds, we need to get into the habit of shooting all our videos of at least 10 seconds. We noticed in the Snap stories that we took last week that some of the videos that you guys took, they started a little bit too late, or they ended early, or they started early, and we needed to clip them down a little bit. Anyway, get into the habit. When we start working with Adobe Premiere or iMovie and we're able to edit some of these things, you'll be really glad you have some extra time. You can clip out the dead air that you don't need, focus on what you need. You can always trim video out. It's impossible to add video in if you didn't get it. Fourth thing, this is going to be talked about additionally in a subsequent video. I referenced it a little bit earlier, but use a tripod. The way to get, I talked steady footage is so important so we don't have things shaky, but we need tripods. Tripods come in all shapes and sizes, and we'll be going through those, everything from large ones that hold a DSLR to a makeshift one that you could make with 2 textbooks or even some Legos to make one to hold your mobile device. And the last one, I just want to make reference to B-roll quickly. The video that you all get will come in one of 2 forms. One will come in the form of sound bites. The other will be in the form of B-roll. And you guys are going to go out and mostly get B-roll today. In the coming days, you will get some sound bites as well. Sound bites are the head and shoulder talks where people are answering questions, and you're getting your subject talking. B-roll is your subject doing whatever it is they do, whether that's you're getting them actually picking a book off the library shelf or checking it out from the librarian, the action of what it is they're doing. Interviewing a player after a basketball game, that interview is a soundbite. The player playing the basketball game is actually B-roll. Okay, well, it ended up being 10 video tips. So 10 quick video tips for you all. I'm going to put a link in here to watch a Pez video. See if you can pick out the sound bites and the B-roll that's in that video. And yeah, we'll go from there. If you have any questions, please let me know at the end of this video. Thanks.